I think that one of the fascinating things about this biennial is, first of all, that it is wholly experimental, and so the museum curators had no idea exactly what they were going to be dealing with and exactly what they were going to display or how it would be presented within the museum, which has been an interesting, if challenging at times, exercise for them.
It's probably a form of design exhibition that a lot of visitors will not expect, but one that is very engaging once you start looking and start getting into the projects. They really engage you.
It was a kind of laboratory not only for design but also a laboratory of collaborations.
So we decided to work with a Slovenian company called Tomos that makes a small Muppet engine, and the idea was that we would agree together into what we call an engine block. But quite rapidly in the process, the partner we had in Slovenia actually went bankrupt, so we couldn't actually have any other engine. So we grouped again and decided to change the project a bit, or at least the way to show it and talk about the idea.
We arrived to the conclusion that what we wanted to try to present was how do we bring back the production of fashion in a local context, and how do we look at local materials as the resource for production of fashion.
It went in a very natural way. Through the meetings we discovered that there is so much to address on water, that it would be a pity if we would focus only on one aspect of water.
We use the framework of human-centered design as an approach, so we turn it into plant-centered design. And then, because human-centered design is really focused on how the user thinks, so it needs a lot of user research. But in plant-centered design, we want to know how plants think. So we also developed this way of biofiction prototyping, which was structured on science fiction prototyping.
It's a lot more complex than it used to be, the design practice, because it involves many different disciplines. Which doesn't mean it excludes the classic discipline. In the end, they're still, giving an idea form, expressing it, communicating it, realizing it, producing it. All of that is still part of it, and I like to see that. That's something that, of course, for me is very inherent to the idea and the quality of design.
So some of the biggest challenges were that the designers, in some situations, not have a clear partner that would totally support the project. That made it difficult for them because they really, they actually had to insist that this is a project they agreed on too, and they need their help. But they did a great job on that.
It was crucial for us because nanotourism we ultimately defined as a new constructed term, as a creative critique towards the conventional tourism, that it has to be bottom-up, that it has to be site-specific, it has to be locally sourced, and it has to be social and responsible, so meaning that it has to be participatory.
Giving that award is a little bit strange, and I would rather like to stress the diversity, the complexity. Then this is now the project of this bio.
Well, BO50 is a really fascinating exhibition. There are so many exciting, dynamic, original and ingenious projects here. What I really hope is that they continue. It would be wonderful to think of BO50 as the start of a process, not as the culmination of it. And it's very evident. I mean, the sheer quality and dynamism of many of the projects in the biennial means that they are bound to self-sustain, and they'll evolve, they'll change, you know, some dramatically, some not so dramatically over the years. But it would be wonderful to think that the work that's begun here will continue in the communities where it's already active, but also will be replicated and reinterpreted by other communities all over the world.